Hey, what's up, guys? Blake from Top Dog Digital. And today, what I want to talk about is something that I feel most don't put a lot of effort towards for one reason or another. Main reason probably is the fear of working with someone who is deemed a competitor. But I actually want to talk about some strengths and advantages that can be made by connecting with someone in junk removal, just like yourself, in a local area who may actually be doing better than you, and why you'd be surprised at the fact that most of those people would actually be willing to communicate with you and work with you. So if you're pretty new or you're starting out, or even if you're someone who's kind of in the middle of the pack in the industry in your area, something that I've seen a lot of in this industry that I think every time that I've seen it has worked out pretty well. Granted, make sure you're doing your research and figuring out who your competitors are and what kind of personality traits that they have. But it seems like the junk removal company as a whole is a pretty tight-knit community. Usually when you're taking part in the groups and you see the way that others communicate, even competitors, most of the time they're pretty open to giving quality information and working together and helping each other grow. All right. And that's one of the things I actually really like about the industry, and I try to reflect that myself in the marketing industry when it comes to junk removal. I have a lot of guys that I work with who are clients of mine who are also clients of other people that are, maybe they're doing Google ads with them and they're doing text campaigns with me, or whatever the case may be, maybe Google ads with someone else, Facebook ads with me. And one of the things that I try to do is I'm not here to talk bad or basically devalue my competitors. All right. Most of the time, most of my competitors probably don't even know this, and if they're watching the video, I guess they know now. But most of the time, I actually will speak highly of them, especially if it's someone that I've heard does good work in the industry, which there are a few people who stand out that I will give either a recommendation to based on what that person's looking for, or I will say, you know what, you're working with them, you're in good hands, I've heard good things. All right. And the junk removal industry is pretty similar. I see a lot of people who run into large jobs and they need some assistance, right? So they're going to connect with someone they trust locally in junk removal and pull them on board for the job. One of our guys, we connected him with someone else in his area. The guy reached out to us to work with us. We told him, look, unfortunately, we do have exclusivity in this area, and we've got a guy who's running both Facebook and Google ads with us. However, I can connect you guys, and perhaps maybe you guys could partner on some things in the future. And it ended up being a very valuable relationship that we built, because in the last 2 weeks, that guy has just been contacted by a property manager for a huge job that they have. They're going to need, the numbers escaping me right now, but they're going to need a lot of cleanouts done in a short amount of time. And the person who we connected with, our client, cannot fully fulfill that himself. So he actually connected with our customer and said, look, man, I'd like to team up with this and work together. That's a great example of what you can build within this community, within competitors, all right? And I think a lot of that is going to show itself, those opportunities. You're going to see a lot more commercial stuff coming in. So working with a competitor in instances like that and building a relationship could actually be a really good thing, both not only for you, but for the competitor. I'll tell you now, if you come into something like this and you're just looking to take everything that you can from them, it's never going to work out. It has to be double-sided, right? You have to be willing to bring value to them, and they have to be willing to bring value to you. But I think when you build relationships like that, it's great for both businesses because there's enough work for everyone. And if you can build that kind of relationship with someone in your area, especially if it's someone who's a little bit ahead of you, you may learn some techniques and ways that they're doing business that can help you with your own. And some of those people, they're fully booked out. So they don't have as much to risk, giving you that information or working with you, because quite frankly, they may not even be able to fulfill more work anyway. And they may be looking to pass some of that off to someone in the area such as yourself. And we see that in the groups from time to time as well. So this is something I would recommend, guys. I would really build connections with the right people in your industry, basically competitors, but don't look at them in that light. Understand that there is enough business out there to work together if you guys are in a certain spot. I don't recommend, if you're just starting out, it's probably not a great idea to try and connect with somebody else who's just starting out if you're both desperate for work, right? I mean, so it'd be very hard for you to pass on an opportunity to them and them to do the same, right? You want to look for somebody who either you're at a higher level and you want to connect with somebody else who's at a higher level, or even if you're in a higher level, maybe adding some value to somebody on a lower tier and giving value there. You're not going to get as much as in return, of course, but if you're that kind of person who just wants to help others succeed and you're fully booked out, obviously that would be a pretty genuine thing to do. But my recommendation is, for the most part, if you're starting out or if you're kind of in the middle of the pack, building connections with people who are sort of a little bit above you, and maybe they have more work that they can fulfill. But again, don't come into it as leeching off of them. You really do want to provide value, any value you can to them as well, and build an actual relationship. So come in with the right mindset. But I've seen time and time again in this industry where relationships like that really do pay off, guys. And I truly feel like if you're that kind of person who is willing to bring value to a relationship with someone else, that value that you provide will be reciprocated. All right. And I truly believe that in all aspects of life and business. So I wanted to mention this because it's something that some of you may not already be doing and building those connections, and you may actually be missing out on opportunities because of that. All right. So I hope this is helpful. As always, guys, if this video gave you any value, give it a like, leave me a comment, any questions you may have on any topics on these videos, please ask me. I'm willing to dive in and help out anywhere I can. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting out useful content for you guys pretty much on a daily basis. And I hope this was helpful. See you guys.